Jai Baba. Before I begin reading poetry, I'm going to read some words from Meher Baba, also from Francis Brabazon, from the East-West Gathering in 1962. And at the point that I begin reading, Meher Baba has just discussed the four journeys. So Baba says, "But all this is not meant for you people. It is all useful, though, for posterity. For you, it is sufficient to obey me, love me, and hold on to my demand. Then wherever I am, you will be also. If you were to begin your inward journey, you would also be with me, because I am also there on those journeys. All this is illusory. God alone is real. You must love God, see God, become one with God. That is your duty. Your duty is to know this is all illusion. God alone is real. But to love God is also not in your hands. It is a gift from God to you. And the one who receives his grace has nothing to do with these journeys, whether outward or inward. Where you go on the journey is not important if you hold on to my demand. Everything is immaterial." Baba concluded, "Hafez has given us consolation." Francis Brabazon read his own rendition of Hafez's ode entitled, "Be Not Grieved." Although you have not received love's guerdon, one day this desert will become a garden, so be not grieved. Do not turn your heart away, nor expostulate against the beloved, but bear your present state, and be not grieved. Let this disgusted mind and troubled heart be stilled. One day desire for union will be fulfilled, so be not grieved. Behind the curtain, a secret game is being played that you know not, so do not give up, nor be dismayed, nor grieved. Once you have set out for the beloved's abode, do not let mere stones and thorns turn you from the road, nor be much grieved. Maya will do her best to thwart your labor, but when you have a captain like Noah, you will reach safe harbor, so be not grieved. Although the way is full of dangers and seems to have no end, there is an end to every beginning with this friend, so be not grieved. When this friend is the same as God, do not plague him with petitions, but suffer gladly love's rules, trials, and conditions, and be not grieved. This was Brabazon's rendition of Baba's translation from the original Persian. Baba then commented, "What is there to worry about? So don't worry. Yesterday it rained and you got drenched. What did happen? Nothing. Today it is just the same here. Nothing happened yesterday. It is just today." as I finished reading it, I looked at the bookmarker I have here, which my mother gave me many, many years ago. And it says, "This is the day which the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." So, the first two poems I'm going to read are from the end of the previous year. The first one on the 29th and the second one on New Year's Eve. The reason I mention that, they're kind of timely to the end of a year. First one's titled Resolution. Doors open, doors close, promises made, promises forgotten. The year end is passing. The new year is before us. One thing for sure about the new year: there will be time for everything. There will be time for nothing. There will be no time at all. The new year will bring gifts. No one knows how it will unwrap. Will it be a bright, shiny present? This dance is inscrutably ancient. The mind must be put in its place. The mind must be forgotten. The mind must stop, like a clock that ceases ticking. I would not trade this world for the next. Does any one of us know what's coming? The future does not exist. I am absolutely sure only God does. In other words, love your real self. Be kind to all you meet. You never know who you're talking to. God is always listening. Time pass. Most everything is just time pass. I sit and gaze my days away. I am not sure how and when it began. I watch the sun move from horizon to horizon. There really is not much to do. The sun has taken up residence within me. Just this morning, I watched observantly as the light crept up the live oak tree. There is more to this practice than meets the eye. Anyone visiting me would never guess. This sitting and gazing is my meditation. I can carry on a conversation while remembering you. When I am alone, I am never alone. I am jealous of more time spent with you. This companionship is my only desire. All else is stagecraft, props, and rubbish. My friends tell me of books they read, how one can practice being with the beloved. There are no words for what I experience. If there are, they are written in invisible ink. I am not even sure what I am writing now, whether it will cause consternation or delight. I just know most everything is time pass, except this light shining from your radiant eyes. The middle of things. You are beginning and end. You are the middle. You are the unbidden nuance. You are the spontaneous inflection. Lately, I have been observing landscapes whatever I passed through during my day. I hadn't been able to see the forest for the trees. I am now seeing the middle of things. I am noticing small objects for the first time, like a shiny ovoid pellet left by a secretive rabbit, like a perfect coil of hair dropped by a nesting wren. I am past the middle of most everything. I am finally seeing what's in between. You, beloved, show me this at a time in my life when I should be looking at the turn in the road. You are the unbidden nuance, the spontaneous inflection, the commas and hypothetical expressions. You punctuate all my dark nights. You are the exclamation point at the end of my day. There are no rules to this grammar. This middle is suspended in time. You are the beginning and the end. You are the capital of my every word. So I started writing more regularly. I shouldn't even call it more regularly. I just started writing at about the time that COVID started. This became my occupation, and I remember when I wrote the first one of this whole series. I said to Bob afterwards, I can do better. And that's been sort of a refrain after every poem I write. I present the poem to Bob, a particular photograph when we're up in Sapphire, or a photograph here at our home in Myrtle Beach. And someone asked me how many poems I've written. I haven't kept count. I don't sort of look back. I do want to this year sort of just go back and just look at it. But I think I've written over 300. And I remember after the first few, standing in front of the mantelpiece at our cottage in Sapphire and looking at Bob, and I had this image, just sort of almost like a dream image, of seeing hundreds of titles and poems before me. And I had that one other time, that same image came to me. And so this is what's happened. I just keep going. And as I've said before, most of these are written in a matter of a few minutes. Unlike many poets, I don't craft them. I don't belabor them. They just come through, and Anita types them up. Anyway, this is titled "What Words Could Never Express." I always tell you I can do better. Whenever I finish, whatever I am writing, I know I can always do better. You have given me this assurance again and again. I was pondering how it all happens, how nothing turns into something, and how that something could become everything, or how it could remain nothing at all. What do I have to say after all? I was remembering the times I saw your face, not just looking, but really seeing. How I become lost in you how bliss is always with us. We don't have to look for it. Like love, it just is. I would like to write something of this. How every time my pen hesitates, you give me the next word, and I blindly follow you. Beloved, I would follow you anywhere. This poem will come to its own conclusion. I will tell you once again, I can do better. But these tears falling on this page reveal what no words could ever express. This is titled God Alone. The evening light filtered through the clerestories. I rounded the corner and saw your shining hands. They appeared translucent, even the fingernails. I stood still, repeating your name. I had never witnessed anything like this. This luminous play of light gleaming on light. You, the source of everything, captivated me. I stood still on the stairs, eyes on you. Why is it we see what we see? Who holds the lantern before us? What determines this overwhelming brilliance? How long have I been standing still? I am now sitting in my chair, trying to recollect what I've just seen. If I could recall it perfectly, I would be a poet. But I am not perfect. My recall is lacking. I do know that as I walked up the stairs, I forgot everything I thought I would say. I forgot why and who and what and how. When I sat in my chair, it all came back to me. While my eyes were looking at your hands, your eyes were looking into mine. I only now realize I saw what you wanted me to see. You are God, and God alone is real. Hidden within. The gulls are squawking this bright early morning. Their cries constant, unsettling, cacophonous. Their attempts at fishing seem half-hearted as they wheel and turn slowly in the pastel sky. How many of us are like the gulls, making noise, complaining, disrupting, barely skimming the surface of this world, never to dive into the depths below? I have become dissatisfied with the mundane and commonplace. I cannot go through these motions any longer. This morning the wind blew discordantly, the sky an augur of something to come. I do not wait for visitations. I do not expect signs to appear as to how my life will unfold. I do not expect anything at all. This day will contain everything I need. An absence, a silence that grows ever deeper, the sweetness of your name, the warmth of your smile. When this day has run its course, when this day is at its end, I will look up at the darkening sky. There will be nothing but stars in my eyes. This next one, I should say before I begin reading it, that before I go to sleep at night, and I should say I go to sleep much earlier than Anita, she will read to me Baba's words or the words of the perfect masters. It is a wonderful way to go into the beyond state. This poem is titled, Enough is Never Enough. Anita is reading Tukaram as I recline in bed. My heart is a river, overflowing its banks. I hear the distant tinkling of the caravan's bells. I hear the temple bells reverberating within me. I know who I am when we are together. I must have spent eons looking for you. I found you wherever. I found you were everywhere that I was not. Oh, beloved, I cannot stand this separation. I have made my heart a magnet. You are the infinite attractor. My pulse resides in you. My longing has become a burning forest. What was that music I heard last night? I glimpsed you conducting a symphony. When I awoke, I realized I was dreaming. Enough is enough, beloved. Wake me once and for all. You set before me a bountiful banquet. You provide everything at this table of abundance. I am grateful for all that you give and have given. Still, enough is never enough. I should be satisfied with all that is given. I am beloved, but this helplessness persists. I am hopelessly kneeling at the door of infinity. I have nowhere else to go. The garden. The garden of the beloved is within us. Let us go there, you and I. He has made this garden a paradise. This is truly the promised land. Strip away all cares and worries. Remove all wants and worldly desires. Walk here without mundane motives. Look into the reflecting pool of unending bliss. No one enters here but the lover of God. This garden is an ever-fragrant bouquet of grace and love. The ageless one awaits you, the nourisher and fulfiller of your innermost desires. The lover of God walks with his beloved. He dwells in the land of the one and only. His heart is in perpetual communion with his beloved. He composes love messages with his dear Lord. The lover of God smiles knowing his beloved is with him. He worships at the altar of the Immortal One. His companions are the fortunate slaves of love. They constitute the body and blood of their beloved. The lover of God is a pillar of equipoise. His head and heart work together as one. He requires nothing. His needs are formless. When he looks into the mirror, his beloved is always there. In early 1964, Baba said these words at Guru Prasad. When there is intense thirst for remembrance of the beloved, love is born, and one's only thought is of the beloved. This is called real japa, repetition of a divine name. Then, even the impossible becomes possible. It is the glory of the name. So it just so happens that Anita found this quote a day or two after I wrote this next poem, which is titled, "The Glory of Your Name." My life was a many-storied disaster. I had been crushed by calamity's mountains, buried in the avalanche of love's ruin, burnt to ash and scattered to the four winds. I sought to love you more and more. You gifted me with ailments and difficulties. The more decrepit and desperate I became, the more I relied wholly and solely on you. I am a recipient of your many gifts. Afflictions abound, difficulties descend, troubles surround. You must be as impatient to be with me, beloved, as I am with you. I am constantly calling you, Baba, Baba, Baba. Now that you have become everything to me, now that I have gotten your attention, my only thought is of you, beloved. I sing, I dance, I am intoxicated in the glory of your name. This love is madness, yet I keep smiling. I know you, the elusive one, will make your appearance. I am faithless except for this. I am certain you are always with me. I have been given your divine assurance, written before the beginningless beginning. You will remove me from myself. Your glory eternally realized. This next one I wrote on January 25th, a few hours after I heard that Theus Momberg had gone to Baba. And most of us will always remember, and I can't say it like Theus could with his Swedish accent. Thank you, Baba, for the everything and the nothing. He foreshortened it in later years to thank you, Baba, but originally it was the whole schmear. This is titled "The Desert Blooming." Sand blasted, sand scarred, sand washed. My friend passes over the last dunes, never to be seen again. This desert is more than enough for me. Every day another storm, sand etched, sand pitted, sand scarred. My exterior a sand sculpture in a sand castle. My interior broken and gutted. Though the oasis mirage, a painful reminder, kinder days when storms brought rain, when there was greenery and gardens, and the world seemed delicate and lovely and beautiful. I dream the dream and keep going. Someday this desert will bloom. I only hope I will see this, the fragrance of rose, jasmine, and more. Last night the sky became an ocean. I heard the stars and planets roar. I heard the crashing of worlds colliding. There were waves across the surface of the moon. How can I tell you what I beheld when first I looked into your eyes? You spoke to me without a single syllable, your silence breaking all I once knew. They say a good poem rolls on after the poem ends, that it continues in silence. The Unwinding Road. There is no signpost on this street. There are no numerals on the doors. I do not live in this world. The beloved's abode is my dwelling. My path is the unwinding road. Walking backwards, I leave everything behind. This forgetfulness unburdens and lessens me. I am loosening and losing all that I once was. My friends wonder at what I've become. Even I do not recognize myself. I am a runaway train, ignoring all signals. I am a vehicle running on empty. How did I arrive here? Oh, beloved, what did you do? I am standing on a rock of redemption. Please free me from this not even nothing. I receive messages and tidings from your emissaries. They all communicate the same words. Remain cheerful. All will be well. Yet I am hungry, starving, thirsty. I am eating and drinking these words, as everything comes from you. I will digest whatever comes my way. Dear Lord, fill me with only you. And before I read the last one, I'll just read a few words from Baba, Guru Prasad, again, in 1960. Baba said these words to Lud Dempfel. Ask and you lose. Love has no questions, and hence expects no answers. Love is ever eager to respond to the slightest wish of the beloved master. There is no scope for why and wherefore while obeying the master. To those who want to follow the master, Hafez has said, about what you hear from the master, never say it is wrong, my dear. The fault lies in your own incapacity to understand him. In another couplet, Hafez says to the impatient lover, "Oh dear, separation and union are none of your business. Seek only to relinquish yourself utterly to the will of the beloved." Do not ask me about love. Oh friend, do not ask me about love. My lips are cracked and brittle. But perchance if you must ask, beware if my mouth opens and the bottom of my world falls out. For I knew love once. It made a beggar and a madman of me. Like a wolf, I found quiet spaces where I would howl at the sight of the moon, where I cried myself dry as any desert, where I forgot everything except your touch. Like a feather, the absence of weight, imperceptible and infinitely fine. Like the prompting that wakes me each night, a moment of anticipation, followed by the realization, you have slipped away once more. My room still slightly glowing, the near silent tinkling of bells still in my ears. Then sitting up in the darkness, calling you again and again. Don't ask me about love. I know nothing. But if you don't ask me, I might tell you everything. That's it for today. Jai Baba.